Global Love Connection. Someday
I love this.
Someday I'll get this
I love
right.
it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
We're already creating controversy.
Yeah, right?
Well, welcome everyone. This evening we're going to be speaking about creating happiness. And I'm not sure where we're really going to go with this because creating happiness is really a personal thing. The last couple of weeks we've been talking about relationships, we've been talking about your belief systems and limiting beliefs. And when you have a limiting belief, how that plays havoc in your life sometimes. So I thought tonight might be good to just talk about what creates happiness for us as individuals. Would anyone like to comment on that before I begin? What
Yes.
about the title of what we're going to talk about tonight?
Well, first and foremost, to introduce myself, they call me Franz, aka Dr. Love, and also the realtor in the Greater Palm Beach area. To dive into this, happiness. First and foremost, happiness, it has to start with the individual. I don't care who you are, what your beliefs are, but happiness is something that you have to want. You have to make that decision that you want that. And then once you make that decision, see how you're lacking happiness, if you're lacking it. And then, it could be that you want happiness in your spirituality, or or maybe you have to remove someone out of your life to become more happy, or you're not happy with the money that you're making. Not to go too much into it, but happiness in your life it's a very broad topic, very 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 broad. But you, the individual, you have to know where in your life you can create happiness. But you have to first decide if you want happiness. I can tell you one thing that certain people that I run into on a day-to-day basis, they have this regularity of this blah feeling of life. Like you can tell that, or you can tell the non-contentment of happiness in their life, where they've come to accept life as to what it is. You can choose to do that, or you can choose to bring happiness into your life. Happiness is really a choice. If you don't educate yourself, then your life will be exactly what it is. If you're miserable, you're going to stay miserable. If you are under construction, how long do you want to be under construction? But you're always under construction, which is steady improvement. But if you're a miserable person today, tomorrow, and forthcoming, you would have to revise some things about yourself, or some issues with the people that surround you. Maybe you're lacking happiness in the workplace, or it could be happiness, with your family, or you're not making enough money, or you're depressed, or whatever it is. See where you lack happiness in your life, and then make the changes. Sometimes happiness could be that you forget yourself, but you don't forget everybody else. When you forget yourself and you don't forget everybody else, when are you going to take the time to make yourself happy? Sometimes you can't make everybody happy. You can't do that. I always tell myself that before I make somebody else happy, I gotta make myself happy first. No, as a matter of fact, before I make myself happy, I make God happy first, then myself, because He's my creator. Not to get too spiritual, but He's my creator and my best friend, and I talk to Him, and I'm very comfortable. I'm a God-fearing man. However, you have to, create that happiness and want that, and once you're happy, you're healthy. Things will change for you. So find where in your life you're not happy, create it, make it happen. But most importantly, don't be afraid. Do not be afraid to want happiness. Cause, go ahead.
Well, that's okay. I just wanted to, before we get into too much detail, I wanted to at least come up with a few definitions that are out there. One is, you know, the encyclopedia. The encyclopedia has a definition for everything, right?
Yes.
One definition is happiness is a mental and emotional state of well-being.
It is.
Which can be defined by, among others, positive or pleasant emotions ranging from contentment to intense joy. And, you know, you were speaking about the Lord and you were speaking about your spirituality, and, you know, I think that's where real joy comes from. I'm not sure it's happiness as much as it is pure joy when you really get to know the Lord. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Rick Warren, who is a pastor and also a recovering pastor, and he's just a wonderful man. He says happiness is a choice. You are the only person who can make you happy. You're as happy as you choose to be.
That's
like
correct.
that one. I like that one.
He got it.
Yeah,
He
I like
got
that
it.
one. And Ben Sweetland, who I don't know who he is, but I liked his, and that is, happiness is a journey, not a destination. Which makes
Yes, it
sense
is.
because happiness is really something that's always evolving, right?
Yeah.
It's not something that, 24 hours a day, you're in this happy state. That doesn't happen like that, right? It's really...
That's what
I
you
can't-
call fairy tale.
Well, yeah, and you know, I think about different times in my life I've been extremely happy. One would be I loved high school. I loved high school. I loved cheerleading. I loved just being with people and just being part of an organization. Maybe that's what it was. It just felt like a family when I went to school. So that was a happy time in my life. Another happy time was when my son was born. That was like gave me purpose in my life, and so as he grew up, I had a lot of joy in my life because of him. So can you think of some times in your life where you just had pure joy and pure happiness that you know you just felt that?
That's a good question. Let me see here. Happy times. Okay. This is a bit personal, but I'll say it because you know what? Maybe I can help somebody else out. This goes back to when my father was alive. Passed away last year, of course. So you know, rest in peace to him. Before I get into it, I'll say this much. My father, for I think 90% of his life, was a working man. He worked hard and diligent, and you know, he was after a goal. You know, which was to be successful and you know have assets pay him so that we could live. You know, my father was very busy, very busy. It wasn't the typical father where he comes home and you know he sits down with his kids and you know he talks to them, hey, how you doing, you know, what was your day, blah blah blah. Those things didn't happen. And I'm saying that to say this, there were times where you know, well actually that the happiest time for somebody, it might be nothing, but to me, it's something because I've never ever had it before. The happiest time for me was the 5 minutes we played catch, and that was one time in my entire, I guess, life, if you will. We played catch, and that was it. I think what
was it about that moment?
my dad spending time with me.
He gave you his 100% attention.
Yeah, I guess so. Because the reason why that was happiness to me is because that was something that was extremely rare That's like and this might not make sense to most people, but it makes sense to me if you know feel how I feel. That's like you getting coaching from Puff Daddy. That's a once in a lifetime opportunity. You know, so that never happens. You know what I mean?
Wow.
He's work, success, boom, and then you have the opportunity to
So his love language was service, huh?
service.
time.
Well, that too, but my father was a big time businessman, and the way he showed love, I guess, was to buy you things. I'm guessing, but for me, what I saw in a lot of other friends were that their parents would spend time with them, or I hear about it, or this is what it should look like. And growing up, I never had that, and that one time he did do that, that was happy to me, because my father was always working, and I say that because that's exactly how it was. And when he spent that time with me, that 2, 3, or 5 minutes, that was happy to me, or happiness to me. So people that don't have a father or mother or whatever, can I relate to that? No, I can't relate to that, but I sympathize with you, but because I've had both parents in my life, but
Well, it sounds like one wasn't as present as the other. Is that right?
they were both present. It's just that
Emotionally?
that too, but I saw most of the aggressive side, if you will, most of the aggressive side, the disciplinary side, the go home and do your homework and do what you're supposed to do, and that's it. I saw 95% discipline and just playing the role of a father, like be the provider,
More
right?
rule driven.
Yeah,
Right.
more rule driven. And the second time I experienced happiness was I remember let me see here, after I paid off my truck note. No, not paid off. Excuse me. No, after I traded in my truck, I had a 2006 Toyota Tacoma Thunder. Most people that know me, that are watching this, they know that, if you, I guess, were around me during those times. I traded my truck in, and I bought a Malibu. And I bought a Malibu, and at that time, after I traded the truck in, I think I bought either an Altima, traded that in, free and clear, then I traded that in, then I bought a Malibu. And then,
But what was it that made you happy?
we'll get to that part.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
it's taking a long time.
Yeah, we'll process to it.
All right, let's get
Yeah.
to the point.
I know. I took the car home, and then I
Driving the car must have
Yeah.
been making you happy.
no, not that part. My father was in the picture,
Oh.
and then when I took the car home, asked my dad if I did a good job. He said, "It's number one." That made me happy. So that little
That
sort of
just-
exciting.
Isn't that something? That was the emotional part of
Yeah,
what you
that's
got from
why
them.
the background was
The
important.
acceptance.
Yeah,
Isn't that
is right.
something?
The acceptance, because again, my father, he's this guy where he's always working. So I saw 95% of work in him, and 5% of play. So I got that twice. And
How does that affect you today?
today,
Do you find you do the same thing, or do you find that you live your life differently?
I think I live my life differently. I'm just a more positive person. In terms of that, I think I'm just a more positive person because I can't be around negativity. Reason why I say that is because going after my dreams,
Somebody instilled that in you. Was it your mom? To
no.
go for it?
No,
No?
my mom, no. My dad, not so much so. It's just that I see where I'm at. I want something bad enough, and I'm willing to sacrifice to go and get it. Not that it isn't that I just dream about it. Like I'm actively pursuing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm facing the reality of what it's gonna take,
Mm-hmm.
and it's scary right now. Not that it's a bad thing to be scared, but it's a good thing because I'm at the prime age of 32,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to be 48 where I have to work, and I can't relax.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at the
So
age.
for you, happiness is a journey, not a destination. It's the
Yeah,
journey
and
and
you have to-
enjoying the journey
You
of
have to enjoy
getting
all
to
parts.
your dream, right?
Yeah, and you
Mhm.
have to gotta enjoy all parts of it. You just can't say, oh, you know what, when I get to here, I'll enjoy it. No, like
Right.
you have to enjoy every bit of it because at the same time,
Right.
you're growing, you're
Right.
under repair,
Right.
you're under construction.
Which is also, happiness is just enjoying being in the moment, right?
Yeah.
You know, just enjoying where you are today, because really all we have is today. That's really
Yeah.
the truth of it.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. DT. I know I asked for Mr. DT's low voice. I think I'm getting it with my sore throat.
Think you'll be all right.
I know. I'll try not to breathe on anyone.
You'll be fine.
But, Mr. DT, happiness. Who makes you happy? Or what makes you happy? Poems,
like
writing
that.
poems. I know that about him now. I didn't know that before.
Well, beside the love of God, the biggest day of my life when my son was born.
Yes.
This is I was present.
A euphoric moment.
Yes,
It is
you
really when you
looking-
see a miracle like
You're
that.
looking.
Mhm.
This is pretty much been praying for a very long time, and I always dreamed to have a son. I even wrote a poem way before he was born. That's what it's saying, that you have to be careful what you say. When you want something so bad, you call it and you make all the move. The universe itself, everything becomes synchronized. It's happened.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was born, I was a wow.
Mm.
And that was a very, very, very beautiful day.
Mm.
And since then, I spend so much time with him. Keep in mind, I never knew the love of the Father. Let me take it back. I knew the perfect love of Father because God been my Father
Mm.
the whole time.
Amen.
But as a human being father, I never experienced that. So everything that I miss, I always dream if I had a father, physical father, what I will do, or I make sure that my son does not get to a point for him to miss anything.
Mm.
I make sure that I ask God to grant me the opportunity to be a good father to him, to be an example. The most important part, make sure I'm there for him to know how to treat women properly.
Mm. That's important.
You know what I mean? A real man is knowing that he's taking care of protect and respect women. And also, I don't treat him like a baby. I always, even from a very young age, I let him know, I love you very much, but at the same time, I also have a job to do.
That's true.
I will be your friend,
Give him
but I
truth.
will not be your best friend. When the time for me to be your best friend, you will know what the difference between a friend, between a father, and between a best friend.
Mm. Very well said.
To get back that, I'm blessed. And also about happiness, happiness is a choice. Is a choice. before you can make anybody happy, you have to make the choice, say, I'm going to be happy. And also it has a lot to do how you measure happiness.
That's also correct.
Okay, how you measure happiness. Is happiness measured based on how much money? Just like same as success. How you measure it. Now, is your happiness is tangible, or does it intangible? So
My experience with the tangible is that you're happy for a moment when the tangible comes, but then it quickly dissipates. Do you know what I mean? It's like not
That's what I
long
meant. That's
lasting.
what I said.
You know, it's not long lasting.
It's not.
And you know, when you're young, you think all these things that are going to make you happy, money, a new house, whether it be a new car, whatever it is, all those materialistic things. But true happiness doesn't really come from there.
That's correct.
No.
So, and also there's something else too. People must understand that if you looking for something to make you happy, you will always be miserable. First of all, you have to go back to the source of happiness. Okay? God is the source of happiness. If you can find yourself to get to a point that you're happy with yourself, you're content. Like you say, happiness is a journey. You know what I mean? When you measure, when you know the difference between happiness and being happy for a very short period of time. For example, tangible. My son, every day I look at him, I'm happy not because of him. I'm happy for what God created through me. You know what I mean? When you get to a point, it doesn't matter what my son will do to me to make me stop loving him.
He will never stop.
He
You'll
will
never
never.
stop loving him.
And not only that, it doesn't have to compete for my love.
Right.
I always let
It's
him know
unconditional.
it's unconditional.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing is how you measure happiness.
I always say to
Mhm.
people before they had, after they have a child, what was your life before having a child?
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
you
I
just
can tell
wonder
you that.
what made me happy then? Because once that child comes, that's
I can-
just the best.
Like,
It's the absolute best. It
honestly,
is.
I mean,
Having a
before I had the child,
Writing poems.
oh, I love
Poetry.
I love poetry.
Yes.
I mean, I always say that before, when people talk to me or my friend, I said, I am love. I always tell them that they couldn't understand, and also I also tell them that I was created by love, so therefore I am love. And some of them thought that I was kind of cocky for being saying that.
But when you understand
When-
what God is and
yes,
the
you know what I
Creator
mean?
is, it makes sense.
And I remember one time I was dating a girl. You know what I mean? I told her one time, she said, why are you always happy? I said, there is no reason for me not to be happy. And my happiness doesn't depend on you. It doesn't depend on anything around me. I have to make a decision. I have to make a choice being happy. Even, for example, when I have adversity in my life, but I made the decision to be happy. I know my face has over 600 muscles in my face. If I choose to smile, I use less than that. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean I don't have any problem. But I make that decision. And also, by the way, I know that we all connected. No matter whatever decision that I make in my life, whatever decision I make, it's going to affect someone around me, good or bad. So I make the decision for me, decision that I make in my life. When I wake up in the morning, I say, I'll do my best to make sure everyone I come to contact to, for me to make sure I leave my mark on them. The mark, it has to be positive. So I make the decision. Do people get me upset? Yes. what you say make you upset, but
they
I'm
don't
not
have
going to
ruin
give you.
your day.
No, no, no,
They
no.
don't have to ruin
I
your
won't
day.
give you
Right.
that power over me to ruin my day.
That's
Okay,
right.
that's why I always say. I tell people, listen, be patient with me. I'm under construction. Okay, I may say or do something, act in a different way that make you be upset, get mad. But if you let me know, that's your job to
about it.
let me
Let's
know
talk about
to talk about it.
Right.
And I will bend backward to make sure I'm a man enough, I'm strong enough to apologize.
Yes.
But at the same time, I'm very powerful man. That doesn't mean you have to double cross me. So I love love.
I don't want to double cross him. That's all I know. I like the love part.
Oh, let me say hello to Caleb Desir. He's a brother in Christ. Monsieur Caleb, bonsoir, bonsoir. Comme ou pas jam reconnaître qui est-ce qui frère Claude, qu'on y a ouais moi. Hello. Comme on regarde Caleb. Kill lot encore. Let me say hello to Languido. I hope I didn't kill your name. Liz and Andre. Hello, Alex. Hello, Alex Mary. Jean Belizer. Hello, Coco. Nice to hear from you. Please, Caleb, do not call me during the show, please. I promise you. I mean, Monsieur Caleb.
Call this number.
Pas relé pendant le show, relé sous besoin relé dans 561 660. Monsieur Caleb pas relé pendant moi dans show. Et parce que m'pas ka répondre téléphone, comme vous besoin si c'est moi même moi là ou téléphone non, mais moi c'est moi. So après show ou mettre les moi m'a répondre. Oui, mes amis me parlent plusieurs langues. Yes, I speak a total of 4 languages, so I can communicate in different languages. I travel a lot, and I'm blessed enough. My mom always give me the opportunity to travel, and I pick up languages so fast. So I love what I do. So that's what they call me Mr. DT. I work very hard, I travel a lot, I meet different artists. I promote, I create a platform called Discovery Idols, discoveryidols.com. I promote artists. The artist who just called me, Caleb Desir, is one of the biggest, one of the best artists. So far I'm promoting. He's a good guy, he always call me. Sometimes he call me 11 o'clock at night. He find me. He always find me. Now I'm doing the show. He saw me. Yes, Mr. Caleb, vraiment qu'on y reconnaît qui vous voyez. So to tell you, I create this platform, discoveryidols.com, and also I own US Discovery Talent Radio. That's where I promote all the artists. I work with them, I package them, and also I make sure that they have a voice in the music industry. So if you out there, you have talent, you need someone, an agency to promote your talent, feel free. And also if you go to Discovery Talent Radio on YouTube, you'll see everyone. It's not only artists I promote people who have talent, any type of talent, to make sure that they have a chance. This is my journey. This is my purpose. This is that make me happy when I help people succeed. I celebrate everybody's happiness. I love what I do, and as you know, if you ask me what is my love language is I serve. I love to help people become successful. My background is business, entertainment law, and different stuff. So if you're an artist, go to www.discoveryidols.com, and also you can go to the radio station US Discovery Talent Radio. So I will post all this information on the site, on Facebook, And also, I will ask you guys to go to discoveryidols.com, vote for Caleb Desir. He's a great artist. And I hope I'm having an event December 23rd. I'm doing an event with the Salvation Army just to provide toys to the children. And it's the whole day from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. where we provide food, music, toys to all the children who are in West Palm Beach. So I invite everyone to be part of it if you are here in West Palm Beach, Florida. Keep praying for us. It's a journey. It's not the destination. Once again, guys, you see me. I'm Mr. DT. I'm the one behind the scene, and tonight I just step out to spend a few minutes with my team. You're in good hands.
Well, thank you. So tonight we're talking about creating happiness, because happiness is one of those personal things that everybody finds happiness differently. But I will tell you some little known facts. 50%, believe it or not, is in your genes. And that doesn't mean that your genes say it all. But 10%, only 10% of the circumstances in our life, and 40% is how we choose to think, feel, and act. If you choose to improve, even the worst of situations can be changed by a mindset, which leads you to feeling better, which in turn can generate positive action. And that's what we're talking about tonight. What are the things that can contribute to your happiness? Because I think everybody probably knows the things that don't contribute to your happiness. So we're not going to focus on that tonight. So let's talk about the things that contribute to our happiness. And I think both DT and Dr. Love have both mentioned, number one is having faith in a sense of spirituality. That's like really number one. That's where you get the creation of joy in your life. You know, when you can feel the Holy Spirit in your life, and you feel God's talking to you, and you can pray for someone that's hurting. That really gives you pure joy. It also gives you a sense of a bigger and higher purpose, which is the great source of happiness. Knowing also when to let go and let God. That's like huge, because so much of happiness comes from letting go of all the things that we don't have control over.
That's the best medicine. Best
let
medicine.
Go and let God. It's like, man, this is way too big for me. And it's such a relief to let that go when there's burdens in our life. That when we weren't meant to solve every problem on this earth. We were meant to try to solve certain things, but only with God's help. And sometimes there's certain things in our lives, and I can tell you, my husband was one of those people that I had to give to God. And when I did give my husband to God, and it wasn't that I kept my husband from myself, it was just that I didn't understand the power behind God.
Gotcha.
And that God had to get his heart. And that, you know, my husband may have loved me, but there's nothing, absolutely nothing like the love of God. And when my husband experienced that, because I had let him fall the way he needed to fall in many certain situations, he was able to just get it. And it was so simple.
And also there's something too. Sometimes, because we do not let go, and we prevent God from doing the work that he needs, that work that needs to be done in someone's life. It's not everybody God meant for you to reach out and help.
Right.
Some of us, we need to go through the fire for God to really do his work on us. When we reach out to someone rescue, and guess what? We delay that person's blessing.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do.
Yeah, and the interesting part is growing up, what I learned was that love was always helping another person.
Amen, amen.
But at the same time, when you do more than your share, that's not healthy for you,
Mhm.
and it's not healthy for them because we're stopping them to grow.
That's right.
And that's the part I didn't get. It took me many years of going to, some
No.
support groups to learn these simple things.
I
It's
think
kind
it
of
has-
odd.
I think it has a lot to do about love.
Yeah, and
Because
not knowing
you-
really what it is.
You love unselfishly.
Mm-hmm.
You were willing. You took it. The vow that you made before God and before mankind. You took
Right.
it literally.
I certainly
You gave
did.
yourself.
Mhm.
I mean, completely. And that's what many times. That's what is. That's one part of the ingredient that is missing in many household, many relationship.
Mm.
But like Mother Teresa said, that we all connected.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And people understand that no matter decision, no matter what decision you make, because we are all connected.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Whatever decision you make is going to affect someone.
Absolutely.
But you have the choice to how you're going to affect someone. You can affect someone positive to have a lasting positive experience, or you can destroy somebody. So we do have that choice. Love, I believe that love is the best medicine. Someone right now, sometimes it could take just step out, especially in this holiday season.
Yeah.
There are so many people are hurting. It doesn't take much for you to go out of your way, to step out from your shell and reach out, say, hey, I love you, my brother, I love you, my sister. Look at this gentleman. He said one moment his father spent with him, he met so much. And the sad part, they have so many fathers out there. They have children. The children didn't ask to be born. It's not how much money you have, it's how much money you're making. At the end is how much time you spend with your child.
That's what they're going to remember.
That's right.
That's exactly.
Perfect example.
Yeah, exactly.
Dr. Love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's one of the reasons they call him Dr. Love. He made the decision, say, from now on, I know what I miss. I know what the time my father spent working, how much time, what life robbed me of my father's love. So therefore, I want to become Dr. Love.
But you know something, when it comes to that, you can't get time back. You can never ever in your lifetime get it back.
But there may be a child down the road, you never
Yeah.
know, where all of what you learned through that process made you a better man to be a better father.
Yeah.
A better husband.
Better husband,
Yeah.
better father,
Yes. Yeah.
So you're still growing every day, right?
Yeah,
You know?
definitely. I mean, it's growth. Growth is something that I will never ever in my life shy away from, because growth for myself or any individual man or woman, you should embrace that and appreciate that, and know who you are. Know who you are and have a sense of who you are, and don't be afraid, because I heard it from somebody else where they said to have a sense of who you are, and that clicked for me. And when you love yourself first, you put yourself first, it doesn't have nothing to do with being selfish. It's selfless, but you know who you are as a man or a woman, and how to represent yourself in front of people, and that you're coming off in a humble way, but in a strong manner, and you're not afraid to be yourself in front of people.
And so that you become, because you're making yourself happy, doing the things that
Right.
make you happy, that conveys to other people.
Yes,
It,
and
it just it affects other people in a
Right.
positive manner.
Mhm.
and as DT said,
Yeah.
people that aren't used to someone that knows themselves, it can come off the wrong way for them, but it's not coming off the wrong way for them
Right.
because
They just have to seek to understand a little more because
Yeah.
it's not common.
right.
It's not common.
What should be
You're supposed to be unique in this world, so
Right.
you both are.
but see,
you know.
when you're unique, that means that excuse me, that person that knows themselves, their circle of influence is correct for themselves, versus the other person that don't know themselves. Check your circle of influence so that way you know yourself. You know what I mean? Because as DC said it, he knows who he is. He loves himself. He's happy. So when that's unorthodox for somebody else, that means that you know what, something is not right around you, and your state of mind. It's unorthodox. It's something that's new. It shouldn't be new.
In other words, what you're trying to say that because the person knows, hey, I know who I am, I know I'm loved, I made a decision to be happy. For someone who struggle with happiness,
Yes.
someone that who been abused, and
Yeah.
someone that the love thing is half full.
Yes. Yes. Definitely.
So by you being happy, you remind them, you remind them their flaws. You remind them
Yeah. Yes.
unperfect, which is all of us are unperfect. We are unperfect
Involuntarily.
people. But at the same
Involuntarily.
time, when you realize that you're in the presence of someone like that, that doesn't mean the person is weak. That person, probably you can say in a good sense, that person is under construction.
That's what I was gonna
Because
say.
God
Yes.
God has a work. God is not done with that person. There's
Right.
a work He's doing. There's a process. The person going through that process.
Yes.
Someone like that, in your case, you need to be. You have to be. You need to reach out in a positive way. At the same time, while you're reaching out to that person, you want to make sure that you don't put the person in this position to see that. The person to see all the negative part the person been dealing with,
Right.
but at the same time you have to be careful it doesn't become a codependent. Doesn't
Yes.
depend on you.
But they could be seeking to understand, which
Yeah.
which gives you an opportunity
Yes.
to
That's right.
really make a difference in their life.
Don't be a problem solver. They didn't ask you to solve the problem. Sometimes they want exactly for you to listen. And for example, my friend here, Mother
Teresa.
No, I'm
no,
not
Mother
Mother
Teresa.
Teresa.
Oh, okay.
Oh, not
Mother
Teresa.
Nature.
Mother Nature.
Mother
That's what he
Nature,
calls
okay.
me.
Mother
Yeah.
Nature. One of the reasons I call her Mother Nature, it doesn't matter what's going on when you talk to her, she doesn't listen. She's a great listener. She
Did you say
doesn't
I
try.
doesn't listen or
She
does?
does.
Oh,
You
all
are a
right.
great listener.
Yeah.
She doesn't volunteer to solve your problem. She asks you question to make you to seek, because I don't believe that you don't know the answer.
Right.
You always know the answer. The only thing you don't know what the proper way, the proper questions. Soon you
yeah.
know the question that you need to ask based on your situation. The answer is already there because we
correct.
all equip. God equipped all of us
To be your own coach.
to be your own coach.
That's
correct.
it.
And sometimes it's just like you don't know what question, the proper question you need to ask yourself to solve your own issues.
But that's why you do need a
Yeah,
coach.
that's
so
why
that
you
you
need
can
a
get
coach
to that
to get to
point.
that point.
Exactly.
But we all equip. God created us. The Creator doesn't make mistake.
Oh.
He equipped us with everything what we need. But in the process of life, a society, we find ourselves lost because of the problem that we face every day. Instead of us to let God, we try to be our own masters. We try to
Yes.
remove God every places Okay? And guess what? When you remove God, what other God you going to bring?
Yeah.
There is other God.
But I can
That's the whole
remember.
thing.
I can remember thinking how hard life was, because it seemed like I couldn't work hard enough, or I couldn't do enough, or I couldn't be enough, and that was because my love tank was getting depleted, and so in my head, and this all comes from when I was a little girl. You know, my mom died when I was very young, so that person wasn't in my life, and so what I learned is that if I loved people, then I got the results I liked, because if you love on somebody, they usually give back, right?
Usually.
But the more you give, you can't give to the point that you have nothing left of yourself. And sometimes as a mother, and I was married to a gentleman that I loved very much, but over time he had an addiction. So anyone that knows addictions, family members get greatly affected by the person that's addicted. And it's not something that, you know, you choose to have in your life. It's something that happens. And kind of looks like mental health issues, you know. And I had a twin sister that had mental health. So for me, it was part of, you know, the struggle was always there in my life. And I just learned that I just have to do hard. Somehow I learned, not that somebody told me this, but that if I tried a little bit harder, it would be better. But the more I tried harder, the worse it got. And that's because I loved God, but I didn't have an understanding of God. That He loved me, not trying so hard. He wanted me to let go and let Him do more. And I didn't understand that. It took me years to understand.
Well, I think that we all have different backgrounds.
Yeah.
Because
we have unspoken belief systems that we just get these beliefs. Like, where did they come from? Well, it's just learned behavior by, you know, it just happens. There are unspoken words in families and things that happen to you. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I know too much of what you mean. I run into people where, you know, they try to please everybody. And I said, what about yourself?
Right.
You know, and I try to give people advice. People would seek my advice for a lot of different areas, you know, that I'm knowledgeable in. People would try to, you know, there's some folks that can't say no. You know, some folks that try to make somebody else happy. Some folks where it's yes, 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 like the yes man. Some folks where, you know, they feel like they have to help every single time. Otherwise, their purpose isn't served. And for me, I'm a realist. I'm very much of a realist. I'm a good person, but not for everybody. You know, when it comes to giving, I'll give, but to the right person. If you need my assistance, I'll help you out. You know, I'm not one that you should be codependent on. You know, I want you, hey, if you need my help, you know, let me know how I can help you, but not always give you answers.
Right.
You know, I'm someone where, you know, hey, I'm not Mr. Yes all the time, you know.
So let's talk some more about what creates happiness, because again, happiness is the journey and it's not a final destination. How about getting proper sleep and exercise? Proper sleep is really important in people's lives. I think they underestimate this.
I can vouch for that.
Have you ever heard of angry, lonely, and tired?
Yeah.
A person's angry, lonely, and tired. That's just a setup for unhappiness.
Yeah, but you know what though?
It happens.
And
It happens to people. They get crazy with work. Things are going on in their life, or maybe there's some unsolved anger issues. They become lonely. They get tired, and it's just a vicious circle.
But keep in mind,
If you don't get the proper sleep, you can't work through life's problems either.
that's correct. I agree with you. But at the same time, being anyone who's angry all the time is a perfect remedy for loneliness.
That's right. Because
If you're
you're
angry,
pushing people away.
if you're angry, I mean, how could you bring people around you.
That's right.
Nobody wants to be around someone who's miserable, angry, and when you say good morning, say, hey, what's so good about that morning?
Yes.
You know what
I
mean?
know.
Well,
They look at I mean, the whole thing is it doesn't matter. Sleep is you need sleep to function, but that doesn't give anybody the right to make someone else miserable.
No.
You know what I mean? And also, one thing.
But I think it makes people on edge.
That's
if
correct.
you're not getting proper sleep, you've got to
That's
really.
mean. You're a
you
time
got to
bomb.
take a look at that.
You're
Because it's
a walking
affecting
time
your
bomb.
happiness.
That's
You're-
it.
it's gonna
Mentally,
affect-
you cannot function.
Yes, and
Mentally.
it's gonna at
Here's
some
what
point
I'll
affect
say.
your happiness.
on sleep, because I ran into two people. One today, and then one she works at Walmart. Doesn't matter that I say that because you don't know who she is.
Good commercial.
Yeah.
But one of them, this was like months back. I approached her register, and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" "Fine." I'm like, Jesus. She's like, I'm fine. I was like, no, you're not fine no more. I was like, Jesus. And
You're just trying to have a conversation with this person,
Right.
and they were being short with you.
And the thing about it is,
She missed out on an opportunity.
no, not just that.
Oh.
I have a big rule. Do not bring home to work on your sleeve. Don't wear it. Leave home at work. Leave home at home and leave work at work. Don't bring work to home and don't bring home to work.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Yeah.
Easy to say
Yeah.
for
It
some
happens.
people.
Yeah, but you have
It's
to.
happened.
Okay, it may happen, but you have to mentally know how to leave it at home. And the thing about it is you're not shackled to your job. Everything starts in your head. You have to understand that.
Well, some people have fear though that if they let go of certain things, that they'll lose it, and that's where that comes from.
And
Well-
some people it's hard to let go. And also, if I may, you find so many people that working in a place that they keep saying, I hate it.
No, you don't.
No, hold on.
No, they do.
It-
They do.
no,
hate it.
even no.
They-
I know what you're going to say.
Yes.
I have an idea what you're going to say. If they
I'll
hate it,
let
they
you
can
say
make a
it.
decision about it. But it's easy said done. When you find a single mother,
This is getting good.
okay, who has 3 or 4 kids, and the men, with all due respect, the men, I call them the sperm donor,
They are.
okay, who irresponsibly get her pregnant, okay, she had 4 kids. She's responsible. She has some blame as well.
Yeah.
But that man, the sperm donor, choose not to take responsibility to look after her. The same way when he seduced her to be in bed,
Which is normal.
okay, and the children didn't ask for them to be born, and he doesn't take responsibility, and that woman is stuck with 3 or 4 children. Yes, she hate her job, she hate being there, but she has 3 to 4 mouths she has to feed. So therefore, not only that she has to come to work, at the same time she has to look at the clock so she can go home to pick up those kids from the daycare. Yet the next day she finds herself has no choice to face all these people at work. Some, for example, it could be a manager who knows her situation, that, for example, she has no choice, he has to be there.
It might be
She's
making it more
stuck.
difficult. Yeah.
They're making her life miserable.
Well, I mean,
She's stuck there. And sometimes when you come with a happy face, you say, how you doing? What's going on? You remind her, you reminded her about her miserable self, her miserable life. She find that she feel like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. I feel like there's no way out. She probably at night, when all the kids are in bed, the only place she has, she probably crawling in with her pillow crying. Those are people like that. It's not because they like their job. Yes, they hate their job, but somehow they find themselves trapped, praying. Somehow God will send someone to save them.
Okay,
And
that's
whose fault is that?
that's
You know what I mean?
a very real, I guess, scenario, if you will. Now, I made a comment, and I want to make sure that I address it so that way people don't look at me and be like, "Oh, you're crazy." I said, "Oh, it's normal."
It's too late.
Well, I'm gonna correct it.
But we still all have
We
to be
still love it.
responsible
Yeah.
for ourselves to
Yeah.
change in our life,
Yes.
whether it's that circumstance or no matter what the circumstance is. We're talking about creating happiness, so we're talking about what I mean. Even in that circumstance, there's got to be something somewhere that could help that person
Well,
create
Yeah.
a sense of
Happiness.
happiness somewhere.
Here's what I'll say to that. That's
Maybe it's just going to church for them.
no,
you know?
there's more than that. I
And
mean,
with all,
I
it's,
mean,
it's
I
not
don't know.
every church take their responsibility seriously.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
But see, you know what though? That situation, it's very very real. But to me, you know, I don't have kids. I know people are gonna say, hey, you know what? You don't have kids. What do you know? Yeah, that's true. What do I know? But I think that you're going to have to wanna, you know, probably make small changes. Not big changes, but small changes.
Baby steps.
You know, yeah, one step at a time to see where you can alleviate some pressure to find ease. And yes, DT, you're right. There's a lot of men out there that do not want to take responsibility. They want the thrill for the hour or two and then ejaculate inside of you. Just I'll say it because it's very real. That's what's gonna happen. You know, and then when the reality hits, you hit a U-turn. You know, that's why when it comes to and I'll veer off just a little bit, but I'll make a long story short. That's why whenever it comes to dating, you have to go through those stages. You have to go through those. You have to. That's how you know who you're dealing with. You know, and to effectively evaluate the person that you're with. You know, it's not to and when it comes to you being miserable, you gotta make a small change somewhere. And for kids, it's gonna be tough because you have to wake up. You know, you gotta punch into a clock. When it's when you have a meal period, it's probably maybe in either a half hour. Most of the time, it's a half hour, not an hour. And unless you bring your food to your job.
Let's get on to exercise. What does exercise do for you?
A
Have you
lot.
ever exercised? And does it bring the endorphins out, the natural endorphins
Yes.
in our lives? Now that's something I need to improve on. I can tell that.
But you
I
gotta
know
be
that.
consistent.
Even if it's
I'm
walking,
guilty of that.
even if it's walking, that boosts the health, the endorphins in our brain, which are their happy natural chemicals in our brain that just
I don't know if that's gonna work, but for some folks it will.
yeah.
You never know. Miracle do happen every day.
Again,
Yeah.
it's a creation of trying to create this happiness that we want in our life.
I guess
What
so.
are the simple things that we can do?
Mhm.
Having leisure time, having hobbies that engage you. Again, that's that life. I love this. I love
leisure time and hobbies.
work-life balance is huge for me.
Mm-hmm.
It just, it's so easy to get engrossed in a job which gives you nothing, even though it might be a good job. But what does it really give you back emotionally? Are the people that you're working with good? It depends on if you have your own business. But work alone is not going to. You got to have some balance.
Yes.
If you didn't have time with your son, would you be happy?
My son is the number one, my number
Exactly.
one fan.
So you do work-life balance.
Yes, and also even before I had my son, I always have me time.
Mm-hmm.
Before I had my son, there's time for me. When it's time for me to travel, I travel. I remember a few times while I'm on the phone with my friend at Guadeloupe or Paris, I said, hey guys, what's going on this weekend? Soon they tell me, and also I say, okay, this is my me time. I just say, hold on, call Air France and the other line. I bought an airplane ticket, I go there for the weekend. That's me time. You know, that's me time. That's me time.
Work-life balance.
You have to balance it.
Yeah.
But I cannot do that anymore because my priority changed. You know what I mean? Because I have my son, so therefore my son come first. My son, my wife, I make decision. I mean, to make sure when I was alone, I make decision for myself, for my life. But right now when I make decision, it's we. There's no I anymore. It's we. It's we.
Right.
So I believe that this is what I believe. I have the right. This is my choice. What legacy I'm going to leave behind. You know what I mean? What legacy?
Glad you said that because that comes at the end. We're going to talk
What
about that
legacy
legacy.
I'm going to leave behind.
What do you want to leave as a legacy?
Every
We're going to talk about
man, before you go to bed with a woman, before you go jump, you have to ask yourself, am I ready? And what legacy? Women also, in a relationship, I always say, look, you need to ask a simple question when you meet someone. Where you see yourself 5 years from now. And the second one, what make you happy? What make you sad? Simple as that.
Yeah.
By answering these three little simple questions, you learn so much. We can prevent you from going down the wrong path that will save your life in headaches. So you don't find yourself in a dead-end job. You say, oh my God. Like for example, myself, every day I look forward to come to my office. I love what I do. That's why everyone who open the door come to my office. I mean, artists, I have group. They always saying, even perfect example, you're always saying, oh, this guy is crazy. You always got something come up. But I enjoy life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I enjoy life. Do I have problems? Yes. Do I have challenges in my life? When I say problem, I look at it's a challenge. A challenge that for me to work to make it happen. But the whole thing, if I can work, if I can make it happen, guess what happened? I let it go. Perfect example. Everybody to have a big event. What I'm having December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas.
Yeah.
You need 6 months to get that done. Am I right?
Yeah, that's what people say.
That's what people say. It's talking about, I just found a place less than 2 months. Less than 2 months. But in Jesus' name, it's going to happen. You know why? Because I do believe that day, the December 23rd, I made a decision to change children's life. We're going to give them toys. I asked, so far, every single artist I pick up the phone and say, I'm having a charity event for the children to give them toys. Everyone says, sign me in, I'm coming. Sign me in, I'm coming. We're doing it with the Salvation Army. I mean, people say, are you crazy? You're supposed to take 6 months. I say, it's not me. I've been trying to get a place. God chose to provide me a place. Right now, less than 2 months. Guess what? It's not my job. My job is to be obedient. God will provide.
Amen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love what I do. So you need people.
Passion. You're passionate.
It's my passion. It's my calling. So therefore, you have to make a decision to be happy. That's the whole thing. Happiness is a choice.
It is.
Another thing that it creates happiness is having good social networks, close friends, and loving relationships play a huge part in our lives of happiness. What matters is that you feel connected to people who are important to you. Without that, you can't do life alone. You just can't do life alone.
You can't.
It's impossible. That's
Remember
why
Mother Teresa, what she said.
Mother Teresa said what she
We
said.
were all connected.
Did. Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
paraphrasing.
For a reason.
We're all connected. No
Yes, we
matter
are.
what decision we make,
Mhm.
it will affect each other.
That's right.
We are born to be connected. Sorry.
No, I think you don't have to be sorry. You're contributing to this conversation. What do you think keeping commitments in your life? How important is that?
Very important.
Yeah.
That's a good
That you
question.
And eliminating commitments that aren't good for you. Or sometimes
Okay,
we
that's a
make
good one,
mistakes
too.
and you make a commitment. It's not good for your life, or it takes too much time. It's draining you. Willing to make the changes in your life to recommit and just be committed to something.
Okay,
It's
I'll put it
important.
like this: good commitment, bad commitments. I'm committing myself to be more focused on my dream. When, like, for example, if I have certain days off, I try to become more productive. Where, you know, like for example, Monday, I try to plan Monday today in my head, so that way, you know,
You're
not
ready
only-
for Monday.
Yeah, not only can I make some money, but you know, to invest in myself, whether it's talking to an individual where, hey, you know what, if I need to be sharper in the area of mortgages or short sales or you know what the case might be,
Yeah.
because I'm constantly investing in myself, you know, and if I need to make a little bit of money that day, I'll make a way. You know, things where commitments that I don't want to keep is I don't want to be around the wrong company. Not saying that, you know, you're a bad person. It's just that I'm trying
You
to
don't want to take too much time around the wrong companies.
right, but I'm trying to be around the right people that will make me a better person for tomorrow. You know, because I'm so focused.
They say that we should seek to find people that are even doing better than ourselves, so
Yes.
it pulls us in a better
pulls-
direction.
right.
It's not that we think that we're better than anyone else. It's just that if you're going to better yourself,
Right.
you need to be around people that are doing better than you.
Right,
Yeah.
around like-minded individuals. And the only reason why I say that is because
Iron sharpen iron.
yes, is because when you're not okay with where you're at, you're willing to push yourself to do more. You're that
Yeah, you'll
hungry.
take more risk.
Right.
And they even say getting a mentor
Right, yeah,
that can help mentor you
Yes.
into growth or in a
Yes,
different
all
direction.
that is very, very important.
Yeah, to
And
help you with your
something
goals.
called what's it called? It's called perfect focus.
Oh, I've never heard that.
Perfect focus. You know, where laser sharp focus, where you're so focused on your dream. There are certain people that you won't have time for. Not purposely, but I think you're being intentional with who you spend time with. Because, you know, like you said it, they are who are what's making you better, sharper,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
becoming more successful, having more freedom, more time, more money. You know what I mean?
All the things you might need. or want.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
We talked about this next one is giving of yourself to others, and I think that is important to do because, you know, it isn't all about us in this life. It is about, you know, the people that we surround ourselves with to do for others as well.
Right.
Whether it be you volunteer to do something in an organization, give to an organization, spend time with an organization where you're volunteering, whatever that may be. It adds to your happiness in your life because the joy doesn't come from getting, it is from giving.
Right.
And whatever that may be, it's different.
I
for
cannot
everybody.
speak on that. Sorry.
No, I think you can speak on that.
I cannot speak on that. I'm guilty of that.
This next one I'd like to talk about was talked about at church this week.
By the way, let me clarify that.
What?
By the way, it was a joke.
It was a joke. Yes, I know.
People don't realize
We
that.
know that.
It was a,
We know that.
but they don't.
They don't know.
It's
Okay.
a joke.
I know.
Oh, it was a joke because
Did you go to service this week?
no, as a matter of fact,
Oh,
no.
Don.
No,
Oh,
I did.
Pastor David
Yeah.
Christ Fellowship? Oh, no.
No, Winners
Was it
Church.
Christ Fellowship?
It's
I
always
loved what he had to say this week because it was all about being still and how it's so hard for us to just be still with God and be quiet. And he talked like this.
That's it.
He was talking like this we were all like waiting for the words that he said. And it really got you to think about how the importance of just being still. And taking time to just quiet, still time. You know,
one thing I keep telling people,
it adds to happiness in people's lives.
Based on what you said, I have a friend of mine who called me when I called her and to invite her for that event. She said, what pushed you to think what you've been doing? Since I know you, you're always up to something. Okay, but this is
I like it.
but the whole thing is, this is what I told her. First of all, I have no choice. My mind never stopped creating different things. And when I go to sleep, God woke me up. That's why when I go to sleep, I always have a pen and papers next to my bed. And when that happens, I write it down and I act on it. But I tell people, this is what I thought. This is what you do. Fill your hand with sugar. You can walk from here until New York or to another country. You can fly to another country, you can circle the globe with your hand full of sugar, as long as you open your hand and let someone take a piece of it. That hand of sugar, you probably circle the globe, you still have some left. At the same time, when someone reach out to share, to grab, to get a piece of what you have, the more you squeeze your fist, you don't want to share it. Guess what happened when you open your hands? Everything will be gone. One thing I find out that the more I give myself, the more, I'm not perfect, God knows that, but the more blessing I get. Let me share a perfect example, a perfect testimony. I went to the doctor. Thank you. I went to a doctor not too long ago. Because I was having some discomfort on my left side. She prescribed me a medicine, just like a 14-day treatment, just to check what's going on. When I went to the pharmacist, they told me, guess what? Your insurance doesn't cover it. And I said, how much? $500. I said, are you kidding me? Is that gold or something? I cannot say crack. I never been on crack. So, and I said, wait a minute. What do you mean $500? Well, your insurance doesn't cover it, but guess what? I said, okay, fine. And I turned around and I said to the guy said, what you going to do? I said, God will provide. The next day, I pick up the phone, call the doctor. I called the doctor and say, can you prescribe me something else to replace? Because something that will do the same effect, why should I drop $500 for 14 days treatment? But
you know if it's going to work.
That's the whole thing. Worst case scenario, if I had to, I will do it.
And you'll probably have a few other side effects. Thank you very much. I'll take $500 and here's 6 other side effects for you.
That's it. So, to make story short, when I called the doctor, told her that, the doctor said, okay. I received another phone call, say, don't worry, we'll send you the medicine you need. The whole thing, 14 days of treatment.
Yeah, because
for free.
he had some samples.
Samples for free.
Yeah.
But imagine that. Let go
and let God.
I said God will provide.
And he did.
You know what I mean? So this is what I said. The more I open my hand, God bless me. You see this platform, it's been a blessing to me. It's been a blessing. And I mean, guys, you have no idea. you guys, you've been so selfless. You give it your time. I've seen you come here every Thursday. Share, you be Mother Nature.
Yeah.
You've been doing research. You guys, for people in the social media to share your time. You are a licensed coach.
Right.
Your 1 hour of your time costs so much money.
No, really.
I did it on purpose because it
it's
doesn't
giving
cost
of
nothing.
myself that I enjoy.
No, I'm saying that.
Yes.
I'm saying that. But you give yourself for 2 hours every Thursday night to come here. You did research. You spend time doing research. And this is what you call love. Miss Dr. Love, I cannot say anything. He's already Dr. Love. He has so much love to give.
Yeah.
But in other words, guys, this is what you call giving. I mean, probably people in the social media, on Facebook, on YouTube, who are watching, maybe, just maybe, they don't know the value of it. But trust me, by sitting next to you guys, I learn a lot.
Well, we learn a lot from you too,
You know
don't
what
we?
I mean?
We
I
learn a
learn
lot from listening to this guy.
So,
He has lots of wisdom.
oh no,
Love
no.
wisdom.
DT?
Listen, no. I always
Lots
tell
of
people
wisdom.
be patient with me. I'm on the construction. God has a lot to do with me.
So tell me,
the work is not done
tell
yet.
me now. Tell me when you take the time to be still. Is that a challenge or is that easy for you?
It was, I would say, I'm guilty of that. Sometimes when God gave me a message or I have a great idea, I say I want to do this, I want to do that. I'm guilty of that. Sometimes I don't stop and fast or ask God, what should I do? And many times when I decide to make decision myself, I always pay the price. And most of the time the price is money. By helping someone or trying to make something better. But earlier, one of the reasons I said earlier, sometimes when you run, you don't stand still. When you run, try to help someone, you delay God from doing the work that God intended to make, to the lesson or the journey that God intended to take that person to that journey. You delay that, and therefore by extension you delay that person's blessing, because sometimes, like for instance, gold, when you see gold, the gold has to go through the fire for it to look like beautiful and everything. Certain people, God has to take them through the fire before they can be who God intended them to be. Sometimes I find myself guilty of that by try to be in a hurry, try to reach out to make somebody's life better. At the end, sometimes when you try to make their life better, you end up hurting them. You know what I mean?
Realize that.
You don't without realize that. That's why what you say, it's always to stand still and ask God, exactly, okay, Father, I understand you want me to do this and do that, to give me the message. Just think about it. Like they say in sales, before you make a big purchase, you're supposed to sleep on it. The same way when you receive a message, you want to do something, like the pastor said, stand still, wait. Just like Elijah, when he was inside the cave, when God was passing, God did not, he heard all this kind of noise, earthquake, fire, wind. He stood still until he heard a whisper. And sometimes all of us are guilty of that. We don't wait for God to make the decision. I'm the first person to say, yes, I'm guilty of that.
It's the world we live in. It's very hard to do things and be consciously aware of making change in our life. It really is important to slow down.
I have a message for you. And one of them, Yoli Kader, she just said, very interesting. Hello to Mother Nature. Be blessed.
Hello, how are you tonight?
And guess what? That's my wife tried to check on me. I call her the troublemaker. You know what I mean?
Oh, she's an absolute sweetheart. I'm so glad I got to know her.
Yeah.
And
So,
Elijah.
honestly, I love what I do and I'm blessed. God gave me a family too. I always saying that they understand. This is my mission. Is not I'm not doing this for money. Nobody can pay me enough money for me to be here this late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all of us technically.
Yeah.
I've seen Dr. Love is yawning. They say, damn, it's time for me to go home.
But I'm here.
That's good, and I'm pleased. If anyone can take, if I could find one person who can get something out of this show, our job is done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hopefully that someday we'll hear the feedback from people that maybe have watched it over and over and finally, something clicks and says, wow, that really made a difference in my life. That would be wonderful to hear because it would make us realize that we are doing something for a reason here.
But there's another thing. I
Yes.
believe you have a gift for them. You have a gift for them. Would you like to remind them when you say if they call,
absolutely.
they got a session, free session?
Anyone that is willing to make a phone call here at 561-660-7653. Again, that number is 561-660-7653. We're going to put your name in a hat, and in December, and maybe it's on the 23rd at the Christmas party, we will pick a name out, and that person will get 4 life coaching sessions with me, and that's worth $500. So if you are interested in trying to win that, please call. We'd love to hear your comments anyway. We want to hear you. 561-660-7653.
And bonsoir to Magda Bell. She said nobody's perfect.
That's right.
Nobody is perfect.
That's right.
Nobody's perfect.
We're all in construction.
I think this next thing that we talked about in making a difference in our life to have some happiness is taking charge of your mindset. That's really what we've been talking about tonight, right?
Yeah.
The saying it's all in your mind is true because what we create in our mind, I don't know if you've ever experienced this. Have you ever got yourself so worked up, you go, nobody cares but and your mindset is so warped that you're like, nobody understands what you're talking about because you've got yourself so worked up in your own head. Well, that's how it works. It works in the positive way, too, where you can change and get yourself worked up to be so excited about something or so, as you had said, you are working towards your dreams. Nobody else can give you your dreams. Only you can live your dreams, right?
Yeah.
But in your mind, if your dreams are there, you're going to get to where you want to go because they're clear in your head.
Yep.
So our mindset is so important. What you think creates how you feel, and what you feel leads to the action that you're going to take.
Yes.
It's that simple.
Yep.
And it also affects our behaviors. If you get yourself all wound up about something, before you know it, you're doing and saying things you shouldn't be saying.
And also, most of the time, you see people that miserable. Sometimes it's not their fault. They find themselves
It's chemical.
sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes
it's
it's
a chemical
imbalance
that's imbalance
sometimes,
that
yeah.
pretty much, and you find sometimes the chemical imbalance that they possess that affect the part of the brain. They, no matter what you say, they find out they have to analyze everything. Okay, when they start analyzing things, they take the fun out of life. It's not their fault. It's the chemical imbalance that deep inside they don't mean it. It's the chemical imbalance that creates
And there are
that
things that have happened,
You know
that maybe that's
In their
happened in their
life.
life
Yes.
that triggers them and their behaviors to act in a
past
certain way.
past experience
Right.
and everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what is optimistic thinking? It's simply thinking and choosing different thoughts. For example, listen to how you talk to yourself when bad things happen. How do you process information? Are you a person that automatically thinks the worst? Or, for example, you lose your job. Are you going to say to yourself, oh, I'm never going to find another job. This is the worst thing in the world that can happen to me. Or
So
are
in
you the
other
type
words-
of person that says, when one door closes, another one's going to open.
That's
So
me.
I'm just, I guess this is a learning experience. So how you react to that and what you verbalize has a direct impact on your well-being and other people and opportunities that somebody might even hear that you have lost your job and want to help you because you're so positive about the whole thing that they're going to just pass you on to somebody they know, or you just don't know how that's going to work. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just one example.
I think that when it comes to that, you know, it really starts in your mind. Everything.
Yeah.
For me, when one door closes, another opportunity opens. I
That's how
think
God works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It really
and,
does.
and it's
Uh-huh.
it's all in how you look at things. For me, I had it happen several times. I plan in advance on a lot of things. You know, certain things. You know, for me, they're unfortunate, but for me, I never sit and wait. I always you know, bite the bullet and then I run. And I've had jobs where they let me go for various reasons, or for one reason or whatever. And my thing is that you know, if I get fired or terminated, if you will, from a job, like let's say Friday, and I know what's coming, and it happens, you know, like this is maybe Tuesday. And
Maybe
then-
it wasn't the right job for you anyway, right?
Maybe, because you know, I'm a Bible person. I really am. So for example, if I see that, you know, they send me Tuesday and you know they tell me to come back Friday, Tuesday, I'm doing work for Friday for Monday. You know,
You're thinking in advance.
way in
always.
advance,
Yeah,
because you can't sit and wait.
yeah.
It's never safe to sit and wait. It's always better to move forward. You never know what could happen, the number of applicants these people are looking at, you know, and the time that it takes. So for me, once one door closes, I immediately mentally start working on the next opportunity. Because just like you can't wait for me,
Yeah.
I can't wait for you.
Has anybody, I know you think you mentioned this book. Has anybody moved my cheese? That book is
I read that shit.
fantastic.
Who moved my cheese?
Do you know they gave us that in the banking, when I was working in banking, they had all of the loan officers read it. And I think it was because the cheese was going to be moved.
That little
How
mouse.
are we going to react about it?
Oh my
When the
God.
bank was going to be bought, how are we going to deal with that?
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
gave us that book. The bank president gave us that book probably, I worked for that bank for 6 years. But like 2 years into it, 2 or 3 years, he was having us all read this.
Preparing.
Because
Yes,
he was
preparing that.
preparing us for the future.
Mhm.
And that book really
That's a
is a
good
great
reader.
book to
Mhm.
learn about
Who
change.
moved my cheese?
Who moved my cheese, and how the different mice reacted to
Mhm.
change, and how one excelled and the other couldn't find their way around. But everybody adapted in the long term.
Mhm.
It was just how long that it took them to adapt.
Let me ask you this
basically.
question.
Yes.
And I guess you can give me a short synopsis of the mouses, right?
Yeah.
Which one excelled quickly and how
The
long?
one that
The one
adapted
was
to change.
adapted to change.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one that just
So many leaders don't realize
Yeah.
that. And not everybody can adapt to change.
Right.
Some people will fight you to the end, even commit murder because of changes.
they
But
don't want it to
They don't want
happen.
to change. Some people can be in the same place, same thing. They screaming, "I hate my job. I do." They don't
Yeah.
like to change. They don't
Yeah.
like change.
Change is uncomfortable.
But change is
It's
good.
growth.
I
It's
know.
growth.
Yes.
It's growing. God did not create us for us to stay in one place.
Yes.
We have to grow.
Yes.
Change is what we create. I mean, it's just like a connection. Remember, I heard people say before it used to be beeper.
Oh yeah. Oh
DP
yeah.
was a good thing.
Oh yes.
And next thing you know, they have the phone. I mean, with a
payphone.
battery,
Yeah.
a payphone. After that, they have a battery. They say that you have to have a. I saw a video where someone put a car battery with with the phone. I mean, everything evolved.
Yeah.
You know, look at they have iPhone. Look at there's the the new phone. You look at the face and everything. Evolve. Guess what? Change is good. It's based on who receiving the change. Who's going to make the change?
The hardest change,
You know
I
what
think,
I mean?
is when you don't see it coming. Like it sideswipes. It's like, wow, I didn't expect that to happen.
Right.
I remember one, a true story.
Yeah, tell me.
Yes, because I used to be a correspondent mortgage lender. And I was in the mortgage industry, and I made a ton of investment. And when the market crashed,
Like everything.
oh my God, I mean, it was, I remember in my
It's like, is this
pipeline,
real?
in my pipeline,
lifetime.
my mortgage, but because I was a correspondent lender, in my pipeline, I had worth of $36 million worth of mortgages in my
And
pipeline.
they couldn't close.
I have loan that was $4 million. I have all that. They couldn't close.
Yeah.
And I didn't foresee that. By the time I realized that, it was too late. And I had a ton of investment, buying land and everything. Guess what?
But in history, that had never really happened. I mean,
That
there
did
is
happen
a
to
cycle. There is a cycle that
Yes.
happens, but it was the worst
That's
that
the-
had
that
ever
one that was the
in the
worst.
housing industry.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
I lost so
In
much.
80.
I remember one time, I mean, things were so bad. Clients were calling me, commercial clients were calling me. I did not have any answer for
I
them.
know.
And I remember one time, I think I get my heartbeat was going to skip a beat, pum pum pum, and I went to see a doctor. I went to see
heart
doctor, heart palpitation, and I went. He did an EKG, and immediately he said, "Guess what? You need to go to the emergency room." I said, "What do you mean go to the emergency? I feel fine." He said, No. Your high blood pressure and this and that and that. He said, "What's going on?" Well, I just sat down, we were talking. I told him, say, "Guess what? I'm sorry, man. You need to take this." He gave me a pill. I said, "For what?" He said, "All this thing is stress." I said, "Is that because of what's going on in the market? Or all this thing?" And I said to him, "Guess what? I'm not going to take it." He said, "If you're not going to take it and you choose not to go to the emergency room, you need to fill this out." He gave me a form. "I'm not responsible. If you live here, you're not going to make it."
Whoa. He really thought you were going to
Yeah.
have a heart attack.
I said, "Listen, in Jesus' name, if it's that caused that, forget it." I gave him medicine. I said, I remember exactly. His name is Dr. Winelia. I told him that the Lord who gave it to me is the one who took it. May God's will be glorified. I walk away. I walk away. The next day, I call and I start shutting companies down. I say, I'm going to free myself. The day that I made that decision,
It was like God gave you the answer.
oh my goodness, I felt so much freedom. I felt there's a big weight come off my shoulder.
But maybe that doctor, in a weird way, was
He
part
made me
of
he made me
the
he did me a
process
favor.
of it giving you the
The answer.
intuition of,
Yes.
if it's that bad, I don't need to go through this
No,
anymore.
no,
and
I
I'm not
just
going to
let it
take
go.
this pill. I know what to do.
It-
Yeah,
you
he
know
was
what I mean?
part of the
I
process.
made the decision. I believe that today
Because I don't need a heart
God
attack
help-
over this,
Yeah.
right?
God really, I believe that he was an angel.
Yeah.
To tell me,
was.
okay, maybe it's time for you to free yourself.
Right?
Yeah.
And after I did that, I never went back. I gave up my license. Being a correspondent mortgage lender, I gave it up.
Wow.
I gave it up.
Talk about
Serious.
change, huh? That was
Yeah,
a
it's
quick
good.
decision.
This is what you call about. I mean, who moved my cheese? I read
know.
that. I read that book before. I read that book. Who moved my cheese?
You just weren't sure who was moving it.
Yeah,
Someone
I was not
moved it.
sure. Remember when John McCain
Yeah.
came and say, "I'll do this, I do that."
I know.
I said, "Oh, those son of a gun, daddy." And
You don't get through this life without somebody moving your cheese
Yes, so
along the
therefore,
way.
I made that decision. I said, "Listen, it's time for me to move on something else." But for to move on something else, you have to be prepared. I like the fact that you say you have to always investing in yourself.
You have to.
You have to.
It's
You have to. If when I get, yes, I did get sidetracked. I didn't get it. Somebody, see what I say, sucker punch?
Excuse me.
Sucker punch? I got sucker punch.
You could smell
I
it.
got
have to
sucker
get
punches.
that.
Somewhere
But guess
along the
what?
way in life that happens.
But
It
guess
does.
what? Because I have a great mother who was the perfect example in my life. A great woman. I'm glad she's still alive today.
Amen. Amen.
And
Amen is right.
Amen.
I can tell her she's a small woman, but she knows kung fu, karate, kung fu.
You
all
better
the way
believe
down.
it.
When it's come to her, you have to get your butt to school. And she always said, there's, in her own way, on her own way. And my mom, sadly, her parents did not send her to school. But she made sure that
You got it.
I got it. So beside God, I owe all my successes and who I am today. Beside God, I owe it all to her.
She was your support system.
She is. And she is.
That's what moms
so.
are supposed to be. Support
So-
systems.
Basically, this is a message for the single mothers out there. If you find yourself today in a dead-end job, you struggle, the man who's supposed to be the father of your children end up to be a sperm donor, let me share a small story with you. You got a big job to do. Myself, I grew up without a father. Don't you give up.
Right.
Never.
Never give up, because
Rest if you must, but never
yes,
give
never
up.
give up. And also, guess what? If you have to learn kung fu, karate, boxing, judo, all the martial arts you can think of to raise your children the right way, just fight. Because one day you will be happy. And your job, God called you to be a leader. If that sperm donor chose not to be a man, it's okay. Look in the Bible. There's so many heroes in the Bible. When you go Sarah, Ruth, a ton of them. God called you to be a powerful. Beside, keep in mind, behind every single powerful man, there's a great powerful queen. So you are the queen for your son, for your daughter. Whatever you do, don't you dare giving up.
That's right.
If you give up, you're going to give up not only on yourself. If you give up, somebody else going to raise them the wrong way.
Oh yeah.
So whatever you do, don't you dare give up on your kids. It's okay, it's a great sacrifices. My mom made a ton of sacrifices for me.
And I want to add to that story, the next thing we're going to talk about is each night before you go to bed at night, is to think of 3 good things to happen to you that day. Because that may be the one thing that will keep you to get up the next day and do it all over again. Because there's always something to be grateful for, always. It could be just something that your children said to you that keeps you going. Speak it out loud and say what you're grateful for, because that is, and that's, we're coming into, Thanksgiving, and that's a time, this is a time for gratitude.
Okay, I have a message. She said, my example will be my mother's final day. I know she was not going to make it. It was hard to accept, when she passed away.
Goodness.
I felt lost and didn't want to believe it. However, I am happy to know she's no longer suffering.
Mm.
With that positive mindset, I don't feel sad. I just miss her.
That is a beautiful story. Thank you so much for sharing. Who's that from? Can you share?
Yoli Cadet.
Yoli Cadet, thank you for sharing. I can sympathize with you, because I lost my father last year.
That's my wife.
Oh, your wife? Oh.
That's my
Oh, I
wife.
didn't realize. Okay.
Oh, well.
Did this recently happen?
Yes.
Just recent?
And she lost
Last
who
year.
now?
Oh.
She lost her.
This
Mother.
year, her mother,
Oh, well.
through cancer.
We
Oh,
love you.
wow.
When I
Well,
see you, I'm going to give you
my
a big hug.
condolences to your mother. I know what it feels like to lose somebody.
Yeah.
Lost my father last year. When I lost him, his health diminished rapidly. I lost him due to prostate cancer, I guess my father wasn't talkative too much about his health issues or whatnot. Things were very under the microscope, if you will. Trying to find out how he got it, what I can do, blah blah blah.
What were his last moments like?
Bedridden. He things came one after, like things trickled downward. First it was he couldn't urinate. He had to urinate in a bottle. Then he couldn't swallow solid foods. Things had to be consumed in puree form.
Right.
Then he started losing vision. Then he needed help bathing himself. So it was one after the other. Then the weight loss. Then the hair. It just went downward day
That's
in.
hard to watch.
Yeah, and for me, when I saw that, I really couldn't speak to him like that.
It's hard to process.
I was really not emotional because my father was like, we never had that time to talk or to bond, period. So when he was going through that, it's almost like
You didn't know how to connect.
bingo. I never knew how to connect. That moment or the opportunity was never there.
That bond was never there. There
Never
was
there.
no,
Never built nothing. Period. I never ever in my life gave my dad a hug. It was always a handshake. So when he passed away and whatnot, I acted as if it was a normal day.
Yeah.
People were like, I see taking it in so well. But mind you, people knew my dad more than I knew my dad. And people saw a nice house, but they didn't see what was. People saw a nice house, but they didn't see what was inside the home. So the reason why I can relate to her is because I've lost someone, but through my dad's, like, his last days, I was non-emotional, not saying, oh, you know what, I don't care. It's just that there was never a connection there, never. And not to back my father, period, but I saw the relationship firsthand with my mother and my father. Did I like it? No. No, didn't like it. But I know what not to do. Definitely.
So see, your story has affected somebody on our panel here. So thank you for reaching out to us.
And also,
Thank you.
if I may, that woman, her mother.
Did you get to meet her?
Oh yes.
Okay.
I had. She was a phenomenal woman. She was powerful. this is what you say. She was like the glue, the super glue that glue everything together.
Wow.
That woman, you could never. She always saw the best of everybody. I couldn't. The
great.
time I had a chance to know her, she accepts you for who you are. She always give you the benefits of the doubt. She always find ways to connect people.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I had the first hand to see what love is about too.
That's deep right there.
That's great.
That's real deep.
You know what I mean? So the time that she goes out of her way to please people, even though when she knows she has nothing to gain, she'd never expect anything. And the story that
Sounds like she left a legacy.
yes, she did. Yes, the story that when you have a chance to sit down to talk, to have a moment with her, the story that she shared with you, you know, it's something powerful.
Can't fake that.
So there was nothing about her that was fake. There was nothing about her that was fake. And
It's a blessing to have known her, it
yes,
sounds like.
yes, it was a blessing. Deep inside, I can tell you that I love her. I did love her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She will always
And
be.
she
She will
probably
always
had
be
peace
missed.
of mind knowing that you were taking care
Yeah.
of her daughter.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
has to be,
So
that must have given her peace to know
Yeah.
that.
I do want to add
Claudia.
one thing though, as far as what I said. Even though I do explain these things, I can say this: it's good to have a male person in the household, but now that my father's passed away and whatnot, I wonder how life and how I would have turned out if I didn't have a father
Sure.
in the household, because once he passed away, it's like, dang, I kind of see what people or what men have to go through when they don't have a father in the household, because when you don't have a father in the household, it creates a big impact as to what kind of man you're going to be in life when you don't have the male role model there, because oftentimes a mom would have to wear both hats. You know what I mean?
And as much as they try, you just
And it's
can't.
critical
Yeah.
when you it's critical for a male to be present. It's very critical, to learn how to be a man, to speak like one, to dress like one, to talk like one, to take responsibility, to know what it means to be a man, period, in society. When you grow up to become a man, know how to shake a man's hand, because one thing does not define a man. Many things do. How you dress, how you talk, how you walk, how you address people, how you treat a woman, how you carry yourself, how you wear a haircut, how you dress yourself. All these things determine, they make up a man's DNA. It takes a village to raise a man, and I believe that.
I do too. It takes a village to raise
Yeah, because
children.
once I lost my father, that's when a lot of things started to make sense. Because they always say, you never know the value of someone till you lose them, and it's true.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so true.
You say something, I agree with you, but keep in mind, you can only miss something when you have it. When you had it, you can know. If you never know, you are blessed because you had a father in the house.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes, and that has a lot to do with culture, racist culture. I believe probably in his culture, he believe that I'm the man. I have to work to support my family. It's my job and everything. So
Generational too.
Yes.
Sometimes. Yeah.
he made that was a big sacrifice for him, because in his mind, when he probably say, my job to make sure I provide for my family. I want to make sure that my son has enough. We have so many women also who's carrying the heart for that man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have children that's raising that single mothers are raising young boys in the house. Never experienced what you had the chance to experience, knowing having a father to teach them how to dress, how to speak. I remember my mom is the one who showed me how to tie my tie, tie my shoes. So if you see me, I'm more critical, more in positive towards supporting single mothers. I watch my mother, what she has to go through. She was the last person who went to bed, and she was the first person who got up. So, my brother, you are blessed. I understand that your father works a lot, but he gave you something that you can cherish for the rest of your life. Based on that, God allow you to go through this. When you have a son, make sure where you feel that your father failed you, for you to always pick up the pace, because he left a great legacy behind. He has you. Now you have the power. He passed the torch to you. Make sure whatever you do, make sure you carry that torch with pride, and make sure you become a man that you will be proud of. So, and you have the DNA in yourself to become the greatest man that's ever lived. Every time when you remember what your father went through and the time that he came short in your life, make sure when God gives you the opportunity to have a child in your life, make sure that you remember all the moment that you wish he was there for your child, for your children, or your child never feel what you felt when your dad was still alive. I sincerely believe that he was a great man.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely, I guess it's just,
He probably never was taught feelings and emotions, and it's.
I don't think so. Yeah.
I know my husband's father was very much like that, but he provided for the family, and that's what that generation did.
That's correct.
Oh yeah.
Every generation has something to learn about what they didn't do right, but the next generation gets to fix that.
That's correct.
So that's what you're saying. That's what he's saying. Is you can fix this, because that you can give that to your child. What everything you wanted, whatever was missing, that child that comes down the road, you can give that to them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah.
Because you were affected by not having it, so you want that child to have it. Like your mom with the education, she didn't get it, so she turned around and gave it to her son. So we're talking about what's optimistic thinking. There's just a couple more things I want to get through. Try to focus on good news versus bad news. That doesn't mean you have to blind yourself from what's happening in the world. However, be aware that the media is a problem-centered, and a constant diet of that can have a great effect on you. Try this. I test for all of you to try this. Turn off the news on TV and avoid reading newspapers for 1 week and see how it affects your mood. I bet it will have a huge impact.
As a matter of fact,
it's a great thing to try to do.
Last night I went home. last night or the night before, I was watching TV. I was in a great mood.
The
I was
TV
watching
went on.
TV, and next thing you know, I find myself getting short.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
short temper. I find myself getting. But
What is this,
And
right?
suddenly I say, wait a minute, what's wrong with you? Why are you letting? I walk away.
I know. I have to
I
shut it
walk
off
away.
too.
I
can't
shut it off
do it
because especially
anymore.
what's going on right
Yeah.
now. I mean, with our politicians, I get
Oh my
so.
God. I turned it off as
I
well.
just walk away.
You can't even figure out what's going on half the time.
What?
Who's right? Who's wrong? Who did what? Oh my God!
One show I love to watch
It's just fun.
is Rachel Maddow's shows. She take time to explain things. She does not give you her opinion. You know what I mean?
Is she
she
the
gives you
judge?
the
Is
facts.
she the, like the judge?
No, she's on
lady?
Channel 42.
Oh, I don't know her. I don't
Channel,
think.
Channel
Is
42.
she the
Short hair.
blonde?
Not blonde. She's like kind of brunette or black. Yeah.
Yeah, like a
But
dark black.
she's very thorough. I like facts. Don't give me
This
fiction.
lady's a smart woman too.
She's extremely
I know.
Yeah, she
intelligent.
looks like she's young.
She's very young.
She
Yeah.
always looks. Yeah, she wears
Yeah,
low
yes.
cut stuff,
That's
but
right.
she could be
She's
the
sharp.
president. I think I said
I
to
mean,
her.
she's sharp.
I said, this woman, I just think she's fantastic. You're right.
She is.
This
That-
is the same
she's
woman.
the one. She's the
Yeah,
one. I
she
mean,
is.
she doesn't give you her opinion. She gives you facts. She
Yeah.
spent time.
I think I know.
I mean,
what you're
I
talking
believe that everyone. But first of all, if you're watching the show, I'm not Democrat. I am not a Democrat. Think that I'm the left. No. Okay, I'm the center. So this has nothing to do about politics.
You just vote for who you
Don't
want.
fill me up with garbage. Give me the facts.
Yeah.
Well said.
Don't think that I'm stupid. Don't fill me up with garbage. Give me facts. That's one of the reasons I like her show.
To the point.
To the point that when you're done, even though sometimes she come up with the facts, sometimes you see how the politicians can be so stupid doing stupid things, put the nation in peril based on by choosing party line. But deep inside, but the whole thing is she gives you facts. She gives you facts so you can make the proper decision. You know, I'm not a Democrat. Number one, don't throw thing at me. But this is facts. That's why I like her show. I was watching her show the other night, and based on what you said, that really affect me. And I said, wait a minute, let me walk away. Last
Yeah,
night,
so that was
that's what
the
the night
perfect
before.
example.
Last night, I didn't watch her show
And that affects
because
our
I was still
happiness.
upset.
I know. It
You know-
changes
you
your
know-
mood.
You know why I was
wow.
still upset? I said the politicians can be they could not be
they're
that
so
stupid.
angry. I know.
I thought that
Yes,
the
they
nation
can.
supposed to come first before anything.
Yeah.
But who I know? What do I know? I'm just an alien from out of space.
So another optimistic thinking tool you can use: play to your strengths. A happy life is one where doing the things you do best most of the time. I mean, you've got to know what you love to do,
Yeah.
whether it be dancing, painting, being an artist,
Mhm.
coming on his show,
Mhm.
whatever it may be.
Yep.
Yes.
That makes you happy.
Oh, listen. This platform
Yeah.
is beside my son.
I know.
Is
It's
this
the greatest
My
platform.
beside my family.
That's
Let
right.
me say, beside my family, this is oh my goodness, it's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Must have met so many people. I've met so many
Oh
people.
my goodness, it's a blessing that I look forward. And that's one thing I keep telling her. If you have a story to tell, please pick up the phone, call me. 561-541-1878. It will not cost you a penny. Okay, it's I love it. It's my blessing. So if you have a story to tell, don't keep quiet. Bring me the blessing, okay? Bring me the blessing.
And the last thing I want to talk about is honoring your true values daily.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing what's important to you and doing the right thing for you will honor you. Living by our values
That's
is
it.
very
Yeah.
important. So plan a happy life. A happy life is mainly built from your unique blend of three things: feeling good, having frequent opportunities for pleasure, activities, positive emotions; doing good, playing to your strengths and living a life in tune with your deepest values. And 3, creating good, making a contribution to the world and leaving a legacy, which whatever that means to you.
That's it.
So make a conscious decision to create your life as your masterpiece. Leaving a legacy is leaving behind a non-material sense of family, history, belonging, and purpose for generations after generations.
I hope with all my heart, between this show, this platform, DiscoveryIdols.com, US Discovery Talent Radio, I hope when after I'm long gone,
you're going to have a legacy.
I hope after I'm long gone, for people to remember me by this guy. God gave him the opportunity. I live my life to the fullness. Because honestly, I don't really care what people think about me or think of me. I only care what God think of me. And it doesn't matter what people think of you. If you want to live a happy life, don't worry about what people think of you. Keep in mind, you could never make everybody's happy.
Oh no.
First thing first, make your life happy first.
Oh yeah.
Your family members is the number one. After that, whatever you have left over, share it with the rest of the world, because at the end, it doesn't matter how many $1 million you have, you cannot take it away. You cannot take it with you. But you have the power. God give you the opportunity every day you wake up to make somebody life a masterpiece. You have that power.
Use the power.
You know what I mean?
That you have.
If everybody you go out of your way every day, you say, I have the power today to be happy. I choose happiness. I don't care what people think about me. I'm not going to analyze anything. I'm just to live my life. First, to please God. Secondly, to please myself. The rest, if I have enough, I share with the rest of the world. You'll be a happiest person ever live. You know,
the one person that I think of that comes to mind is Mother Teresa, the legacy that she left.
Look at
her,
people
her
still
life
quoting
was
her.
filled with just purpose.
That's it.
100% purpose. You know? And she had not a penny to rub together, I'm sure.
She's the richest woman on earth.
Oh, was she?
She was the richest woman because she has love.
Oh, yes, she had love. Well, maybe she saved her money too. I don't know. She may have been the most, but she didn't live like that. She didn't live like that. She lived her life for people. She was
filled with knowledge.
And filled with just an unbelievable amount of love for others that were hurting and wanted to make a difference.
When I'm gone, I would love if God find me worthy enough for people to remember me by not someone, it doesn't matter how much money, knowledge, but how many people I help get a voice in this crazy world.
And help them succeed, to go to the next step, to make the steps
know what I mean?
possible.
I celebrate people's happiness. I'm happy when someone make it and I had something to do with it. You know what I mean? I get a energy from that. I love what I do. I enjoy every single moment of it. But that doesn't mean that life is short.
I think to wrap up for the night, I guess I'll just recap. Basically,
listen to him. Wrap up tonight.
Yes,
this is more than Mitchell's show.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
okay. He's got a recap that he wants to share.
No, because this is something that's important for for a lot of people.
Miss Yolanda said, "Love is everything."
Yes. Here's the thing. Just to wrap up, for the night. Just know that success starts with you. Happiness starts with you. If you want that, whatever it is, wherever it is, go get it. Go get it, but make absolutely no apologies about it at all. Because you know what? Once you're successful, your life is successful. It's not in monetary value. It's with you first, but make the decision to want success, to want happiness, then everything will come. You know, step by step, goal by goal. Then once you see that, make no apologies about that, because not everyone deserves to be in your life. Remove the negative, keep positive, and move forward and never look back.
Yeah, remove the toxic.
Yes,
and
be
as
great.
Dr. T mentioned, think about your legacy. What do you want? What do you want to leave to the other in your relationships? What is the message that you want to leave to others in your life when you are no longer here? We have eternal life, but once you're gone, you're gone. And so all that there are memories and people that remember you for who you were to them.
And as always, I'm Franz, aka Dr. Love, aka The Realtor.
Well, before we go, if you have talent, feel free to visit us at, if you want to hear some great music and find out how many talented people that we are pushing for them to have a voice in the music industry and the entertainment industry, you can go to www.discoveryidols.com, and for the radio is www.usdiscoverytalentradio.com. I'd like to say thank you, and please go to www.discoveryidols.com. Vote for all the artists that you see there. They need your help. Through your vote, they will have a voice in the music industry. I created this platform for artists, people who have talent but who do not have the money to promote themselves. We create that platform to help them. We play their music in our radio station, Discovery Talent Radio. We play their music there. We promote them, we coach them. But they also need your voice. They need your love and support. The only thing they ask you to go to www.discoveryidols.com and vote for them. That's all they need from you. So please show your love and support by voting for them at www.discoveryidols.com. It's DISCOVERYIDOLS.com. Now we come to the part that we love. Each time we have a show, she always come something. You see this little card?
It's a message.
It's a message. None of us know what message is inside. So we're going to open it and share it with you. It's a funny part. 99.9% every time we open it, we laugh, and it has something to do with us. So Franz
is first.
All right. This is Franz. Mine says, "Measure a person around their heart," by American proverb, which is true.
Oh Jesus!
Oh no!
Wow!
All right,
it never ceases to amaze me.
You always get the right one.
Never ceases to amaze
the best one.
Hey, listen, I always tell you that I'm blessed.
I see.
I'm blessed. I always get the best. I'm a child of God. I'm blessed. I'm telling you, I'm blessed. God always give me the best.
Hey, no stress, baby. No stress.
Okay. Where will any of us be without our family and friends?
Oh,
That's a good one.
I'm telling
so
you, I always
wonderful.
get the best.
It is.
I didn't get the best now.
All right, well, I still have mine. Let's see what this says. You are not only good to yourself, but the cause of goodness in others.
That's perfect. That goes
That's
with
you.
you. That's you. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I mean,
We all got what we
It's-
needed.
Yeah.
that's the whole thing.
A dose of truth.
This is the
Amazing.
crazy part.
I know.
How could? Oh well.
Keep those
you
thanks.
be the
Keep
glory,
those
God.
thanks.
Amen.
I always keep mine as a.
Someday you have to come to my funeral. You'll have to read all of these over
Oh,
again.
Jesus, don't mind me.
Oh my
Cheryl's
goodness.
legacy. She gave thanks, and every time it was like it nailed
It's a
it on the
thanks.
head.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
There we go.
Thanks.
Oh my goodness. Let me say it before we go. Let me say a few words. Tonight we spoke about what? Love.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of things.
No, the main.
It all surrounded. It was all encompassing of around what makes people happy.
Okay, it's love.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight we talk about love, and we focus a lot on what makes people happy. What makes people happy? Happiness, it doesn't come for free.
No.
There's nothing free in this world. Happiness is not free. To be happy is going to cost you something.
Oh yeah. When I think about it.
To be happy, it will cost you something. It will cost you. Just like we say, love is not passive, love is active. Happiness, you have to make a decision. It will cost you something. You have to, take yourself, get out from your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Happiness is not going to find you if you don't go
find
after it. You have to go. Yeah. Same way with love. Love not going to find you. Love is all around you, but you have to make the decision to find love. You think some of us, some of you tonight, your tank might be half full. Some of us, our tank could be really dry. But your tank is not going to be full if you don't make the decision. What it will take is for you to make a decision, say, from now on, I choose happiness. From now on, I choose to be happy. You might be suffering with depression. The scientists declare depression is a disease. I don't know about that. Happiness, remember, it is state of mind. You have to make the decision for you to be happy. Go after it. Look for it. Search for it. Be a hunter.
And let go and let God.
Amen. So I look forward to seeing you guys next Thursday. Is that Thanksgiving?
No, Thanksgiving.
Ooh, Thanksgiving. No. That's it. No. That's
We gotta
Turkey
eat the
days.
food.
Okay. The following Thursday. I mean, Thanksgiving. You guys, you want to find me? I'll be around.
Your sisters.
Over my sisters. The whole family will be going over my sisters. Whenever there's Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner, my job, I have a perfect job at the house.
What's that?
The food tester.
Who does the dishes? That's what I want to know.
No. After I'm through with the testing all the food, I'm too full.
Okay.
I'm too full to do anything.
One who's going to do the dishes?
Folks, have a good night. Have a good week.
Easter.
Happy Thanksgiving. When we come back, we're
Did
going
I
to want
say
to see
Easter?
what you're thankful for.
Oh my goodness, see, I'm thinking about food already. Oh my goodness. Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Okay.
And by the way, do me a favor. There's so many people, lonely people there who don't have a place to go. Call someone, call a friend.
Yes.
Invite someone over.
Yes.
Share a meal with that person. You know what I mean? I mean, show your love. Nobody should be all alone. Nobody should be home alone.
And
with Thanksgiving.
if you are, at the very least, you can volunteer and be around people.
Yes.
And give a piece of yourself to somebody else, because it will make a difference.
Yes.
Well, I love you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. For some of you, I will be eating for you too. I'm planning to eat for 3 or 4
And I'll go
people.
to his house and eat. I'll eat too.
Hey, no problem. My sister, my wife, and other family members, they're great cook.
Oh,
And beside that, they
It's always
know,
more than
they
enough.
know I'm coming. I'm the food tester.
and I'll
Okay?
be over there.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, guys. Good night. God
Good
bless.
night.
Good night, you guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
And also, I will say, God bless
Yes.
Everyone.
America.
Mm-hmm.
God bless America. God bless everyone.
And
Yes,
thank the
eat well.
veterans.
And God bless all the veterans.
Yes.
Guys, you are overseas.
Oh,
This is the time America need everyone to pray for the nation. For the veteran you overseas, guess what? We love you.
mm-hmm.
We owe you everything.
Mm-hmm.
You might find yourself overseas to a land that is far away. You have your family, you're separate from your family. One thing I want you to know, that we love you. God loves you. The service, that the time you're spending to protect us, we want you to know that we could never repay you. We talking about love. This is true love. What you guys doing, ladies and men? This is what you are doing.
And the families that have to sacrifice.
And the family that you left behind, who are suffering your absence, your children, your loved one, your mother, your grandmother, your father, your children, your wife, your husband. On behalf of this panel, on behalf of DiscoveryIdols.com or US Discovery Talent Radio.com, I want to let you know that we love you. Thank you. May
Thank
God
you.
bless you. May God bless our great nation that we love, United States of America. I love my homeland also, Haiti.
Yes.
Yes.
I love my homeland, but this is the home, this is the nation that gave me the great opportunity that I'm enjoying now. God bless United States of America. God bless you guys. This is the time we need to put all party lines separately for us to love our nation and our soldiers who are dying, who are giving unselfishly, who give themselves for us to enjoy this freedom. Once again, God bless you guys, ladies, and I love you. Good night, until next time.
Thank you, Claude.